So this is Jeandel. I didn't, when I started as a lector, I didn't know Jeandel was there or what she did, so, and I found out, when I actually became the coordinator that Jeandel does a whole pile of stuff with the scheduling. So, I've asked Jeandel to come up and she's going to give us a rundown on the scheduler and answer any questions. Jeandel.
Well, thank you folks for having me today. As Steve mentioned, I'm mainly your parish support for lector scheduling. And I'm just like you, I'm a fellow lector for the last 10 years of my life, and I'm really eager to be an instrument for the word of the Lord. I guess today I want to share with you how I can support you in terms of lector scheduling. I guess to start off, our lector scheduling is done through Ministry Scheduler Pro. And how this works is we mainly communicate with you via email for reminders and the full schedule for the year. I guess a question for the crowd, how many of you are familiar or know that we actually have an app?
We actually have an app.
Okay, so quite a few of you. How many of you use it? Okay, quite a few. Okay, that's good to know. If you didn't know we have an app, what I'll do is after this meeting, I'll send the communication to all lectors so that if you don't know, you can have the information and you'll be able to receive your notifications that way. In terms of lector scheduling, we typically schedule within a 6-month time frame. So it follows similar to a school schedule for children, where we go January, June. We have the summer break, which is the 2 months, which is July and August, and then we have September to December. We also do have certain masses throughout the year, which is typically Lent and Advent. For most of you who have been lectors for a while, you likely know that those schedules are essentially manually inputted. You put in a request for those mass times, and you volunteer for it. Typically, it's on a first-come, first-served basis. I think what we're going to do for this year, we're going to make changes to that just to make it fair for everybody to be able to have an opportunity to schedule themselves for one of those sessions if that's something you're interested in. I guess with regards to lector notifications, just some common ones when you're typically scheduled for a given week as a lector, you get a reminder notification via email 4 days prior to you being scheduled to remind you that you'll be either for the Saturday evening or Sunday masses. With regards to that, there's also an email that gets sent out to all lectors for important information for things like a new schedule being released for the next 6 months, for you to pick up your lector workbook. So if you haven't already, we do have extra lector workbooks for 2025. Please feel free to swing by the parish office or in the sacristy to pick yours up. Another thing would be also that is how we'll be able to share the communication, where we've released your volunteer opportunities if you've been selected. In terms of you being scheduled, and let's say you can't make it, we understand there are emergencies, there are different timings for each individual, where you might not be able to make your scheduled time slot. Well, one of the nice cool features of Ministry Scheduler Pro is 3 days prior to your scheduled time slot, you can still request a substitute. So anybody in the system for your given time slot essentially will receive an email notification where they can volunteer and take that substitute request. But if, let's say, it's any time after 3 days, what I will suggest is for you to give the parish office a call or to reach out to Steve Miller, let's say if it's for the day of, for that substitute request. So typically what we'll probably look for is the date of Mass, the Mass time, and the lecture type, whether you're A or D. The other option with regards to, let's say you can't make a specific Mass time because you have a scheduled vacation. Ministry Scheduler Pro actually has a nice lovely feature where you can put in your vacation dates and it'll block you out for those times and it won't schedule you. So I know many of you folks are likely looking, if you want to take your nice well-deserved vacation sometimes for 4 weeks, you can block yourself off for an entire month. I guess, how many of you would say you're okay okay with maintaining your password for Ministry Pro? Your password for Ministry Pro, okay? Okay. Well, in case you ever do have any trouble, what I will say is you could essentially choose the reset password button. It's just like any social media form you might have, or any email account you might have. It has an automatic reset password button. If that doesn't work, what I will say is you can give the parish office a call or email the parish office, and what we will do is we'll reset your password and I'll send you the credentials through your email.
Jeandel, can I reply to your emails that you sent to that email address, that Ministry Pro?
Yes.
Okay.
I guess, well, thank you so much, folks, for being able to have me and listen about Lector scheduling. I guess I'm going to open the floor up for any questions. No? Okay, one question. Perfect.
It's not a big deal, it doesn't matter if it stays like that, but I notice, I don't know if it's a glitch or something, but I'm always B, never A. It doesn't matter, I'm quite content with B, because it's just.
You get picked, don't you?
But that's fine. Is that a glitch, or?
What I will say, the scheduler is automated, so
Yeah.
it'll take all of your timings and randomize it. What I will suggest, if you are taking a substitute, to limit it to about 2, just to give the quality for everybody, so you don't get that same scenario where you're always left for B. And if there is a Lector A opportunity, you do have the opportunity to be able to go do that.
I'm okay with B.
Yeah.
That's all I do. And actually, when I get substitute, like offer to substitute, or I substitute, it's always B too.
Oh.
Everything's B. So that's interesting. I was just wondering.
Hey, maybe. Right? Someone wants you to be
I
B.
think so.
Right?
I'm fine with it. That's fine. No problem. Just curious.
Any other questions?
Sorry, how did you say that, because I mean, my family situation, I never know which mass we're going to go to for those Easter masses, or like the Tridium, or any of those ones that are specially scheduled. How are they scheduled? I don't usually volunteer because of that reason, like it depends on our health, what when we're going. But is it that did you say, so it's, I'm trying to, so it's usually volunteer, and you can schedule it, and then other than that, now you said there's a change.
Yes, so with folks being able to volunteer, so before we used to do first come, first serve.
Remember the email would come up.
Now it will not be first come, first serve. We just want to make sure that if you're scheduled already for one session throughout either the Lent or Advent season, that you won't be scheduled another time. So even if you apply for multiple roles, you won't necessarily get, let's say, that's one that I can think of as the Lent and Advent and New Year's. So we have the Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's. So yes, those are different dates, but if you've already been scheduled for Christmas, we won't schedule you for New Year's, just to give everybody the opportunity. Because if you do first come, first serve, if somebody puts in a request, let's say all the way in January, it doesn't give somebody else an opportunity who joins later on in the year.
But that's gonna be automatic, or you're still emailing it directly to?
It will so in Ministry Scheduler Pro, you can request to volunteer for that one, but in the request, typically there's an order of there's a timestamp and a date. Instead of just doing whoever's the first name there, we'll just look at
Right.
I just want to share my experience about using the notification of absenteeism. So I put in the fact that I'm going to be overseas for 3.5 months, and I was surprised when I was still overseas that all of a sudden I got a notification that, oh, you'll be meeting that following Sunday. So actually, so I went on the website. I was actually scheduled for the entire season, like 6 months. So I just wonder how effective is that notification when you actually put in the day that you're not available?
So what I will say for when you put in the date that you're not available, let's say from January to June, we've released the schedule already and you put the dates in. it wasn't put in prior to the release of the schedule, it'll still schedule you, and you'll have to request a substitute for each one.
It was in this case.
Okay.
It was before the scheduling came out, so I was completely surprised that it was still there, that my name was still put in.
Okay, I do apologize about
No
that.
problem, it just,
Um,
I managed to obviously get someone to volunteer, because I still have lots of time in that point. Just wondering if someone is actually scrutinizing the acts.
What I will say is I'll take a look at that back inside. I don't know if maybe how it's automated essentially, they just put in the requirements, and if the requirements change, it changes things on the back. Okay, I'll take that back. Thank you, that's an action item for me.
But if you see something like that happening, or anyone has issues, you can always just contact Jeandel and say, hey, this happened. It's easier if she can look at it immediately, as opposed to like later on.
Yeah, in my case, unfortunately, a lot of people left the country.
Yeah.
So it just, came to me as a surprise that I was scheduled that day. Then I actually went on the website and I was scheduled for the rest of the 5 months, right? So, well, you guys are really great. I just put in and, for a request, and then immediately everyone just pitched in and replaced me.
And also, people have subbed out. Like I've noticed that, like I'll get complaints that, hey, I subbed out and I've got an email saying I'm on for Sunday. So you just ignore those if they come to you, because once you've subbed, you've done your part. Like it's up to one of our other 50 lectors to pick that sub up. Right?
Actually, the sub part, I find was quite effective.
Yes.
Yeah. Immediately your name got removed and someone else's name is there.
Yeah, it's good.
Well, thank you folks. Enjoy your Saturday.
Thanks, Jeandel.